Hi everyone, this is Tish Aiken, and I'm here after a little hiatus of a few months to talk about what's going on astrologically. We started the year with a lot of changes. We had two powerful eclipses. There was a partial solar eclipse in Capricorn with lots of planets in the sign of Capricorn, giving us the arc of the year of the next decade of the Saturn in Capricorn story, which is really about structuring what you want to build in the next 2 years and what you need to face and confront. And Saturn and Pluto will be traveling closer together this year. And Pluto is also transiting in the sign of Capricorn and has been since 2008. And this is about really determining what you want your future to be, what's working and what's not working. And we had that whopper of an eclipse on January 5th, even though it was a partial solar eclipse. It was a south node eclipse, which means that a new moon eclipse, otherwise known as a solar eclipse, is a time of new beginnings. But the south node involved means that there is a release and an ending in that story. And that was very much the story for many people I know, including for me, and many changes going on. And we had the last eclipse in the Leo Aquarius axis, which was a total eclipse at 0 degrees of Leo on January 21st. And that was a strong eclipse to end the Leo Aquarius story about what makes you shine. And now going forward, we had a huge shift this week because Chiron, which is the wounded healer, it's a dwarf planet that definitely embodies what our wounds are and our soul wounds. And it was at the last degree of Pisces, which is a very difficult point. 29 degree of Pisces is a fixed star known as Shiite, and that is a fixed star associated with misfortune. It's associated with shipwrecks and self-undoing, and it can be very creative and intuitive, but it's a very difficult placement. It's the last degree of the last sign, so it's very much a degree of endings. And Chiron, being the wounded healer in a sign which is very much an incredibly sensitive sign, I think it was a lot of people were dealing with the aftermath of the eclipses, with all of this Capricorn Saturn energy of facing what you need to deal with, and also feeling lost and in pain. And with 29 degree of Pisces, that can be a time when people feel a bit hopeless. And so on February 18th, we had Chiron change signs and enter the sign of Aries for the first time since April of 1968. And that's going to be a lot more of a different theme. It's going to be in the sign of Aries for the next 8 years. And, I think now that it's at 0 degrees of Aries is the world axis. It's 0 is a degree of new beginnings. And this is about, I think, maybe fighting your wounds and fighting for your healing with more courage. But I also think that because this shift has just occurred, and I've even seen things people post and are writing about healing, and some people never heal, or it's a process. I think it's also recognizing that a lot of us are in pain. It's okay to admit that, and if you feel sometimes you regress in that journey, and if you took a little bit of a track back in the last couple of months with all of this, you can always move forward. And we had the pairing of Mercury, which is now in Pisces, conjunct Neptune. And this is giving us a foreshadowing of a very dreamy, manifesting, and confusing Mercury in retrograde in Pisces. So Mercury and Neptune also met up at 16 degrees of Pisces on February 18th, the day that Chiron exited Pisces. And Mercury is actually going to station retrograde on March 5th at 29 degrees of Pisces, which is where Chiron recently was. So this will again be at a painful point. Mercury is in its fall in its detriment in Pisces. And it's also going to be retrograde. So it's very emotionally based thinking. We're in the Pisces season now anyway, because the sun entered Pisces on February 19th. And we had the super full moon in Virgo yesterday at 0 degrees. So it's a degree of beginnings, but a full moon is a culmination and a fruition of something. But I feel that it enables us to get grounded and organized, but I would get things lined up now, because I think that the month of March is going to be unlike the beginning of the year where we had no planets retrograde. We had incredible cardinal energy. There may have been a lot of changes and shifts for people, and there definitely were, but it was easy to get things accomplished in a very forward-moving way and in a very expedient way. And now, it may just be one planet retrograding. It is Mercury, but it's not in a strong placement. It's in a very emotionally based placement. Chiron being at the world axis is, making things more palpable in terms of pain. So again, I think this is going to be a dreamy, intuitive time, and it's a time for doing self-healing and self-work, meditation, Reiki, listening to music, writing, watching films, whatever it is for you that gets you to that place, something that allows you to dream, doing journaling of your dreams and paying attention to the messages. And I had a friend say the other day that he thought of a few people that he actually ran into later that day. And I think, Pisces in modern astrology is ruled by Neptune, which is the dream, and in ancient astrology it's ruled by Jupiter, which is the vision. And so you can really manifest. You use your imagination to manifest. So, trying to do that, it can make you feel sometimes very sensitive and can be a little depressed, because, Pisces does pick up things so much, and Neptune is, very much makes us very in tune with our intuition and such. But try again to write down what you want to meditate on and manifest. And if you are feeling those feelings, or if you need to take a bit of a break, because it has been such a supercharged year, such a cardinal year, because Uranus was also in Aries at the beginning of the year, and that's about to exit signs and change on March 7th, March 6th, which is the day after Mercury retrograde. So Mercury is going to be retrograde from March 5th until March 28th. And just to, reiterate, it's going to be initially at 29 degrees of Pisces, where Chiron just left. So again, that's the last degree of the last sign, and it can be a very confusing and emotional placement. And if people are prone to depression, one thing about that is that it can be a degree of misfortune and of undoing. So I think that if you know people that are in that place, just be more wary of checking in with them, and for yourself as well, doing a lot of healing work and trying to keep connected to your friends and people that can help you, and family and whatever that might be. And but Uranus changing signs on the following day. It's going to be the new moon in Pisces, which falls at 11:04 a.m. on March 6th, and that's the day that Uranus changes signs. It briefly entered Taurus on the new moon last year, which was on May 15th of 2018. And at that time, we had the volcano was erupting or was building in Hawaii, and there was a lot going on at that time. And then Uranus re-entered the last degrees of Aries in November of 2018. So Uranus is now officially re-entering Taurus until 2026, and I think this is a time of innovating new ways to make money. It is innovation with how we deal with agriculture and with the earth, and hopefully new technology on dealing with natural disasters. Unfortunately, sometimes they can erupt when Uranus changes signs and is heated up, as it will be. But I'm hoping for all of the progress that Uranus and Taurus is going to provide. Even though it may not really like being in Taurus, I think it's been difficult having it at the last degrees of Aries, where it's so insistent and impatient and angry. And so I think it'll be good to slow down. Mars also recently entered Taurus on February 14th, so that's enabling all of us to slow down. Even though Mars is officially rules the sign of Aries, it's good to kind of slow down a little bit and work hard, but not have to be so impatient, And I think between Chiron changing signs, that's a big shift. It's not been in Aries since April of 1968. Uranus changing signs on March 6th, and it was there briefly last year, but other than that, it was 83 years ago. And that also will be a big change for all of us, again, on the new moon in Pisces. And I think just also delving into the creative right now and into taking time out at times just to kind of just relax and meditate and sit quietly with everything going on. And Mercury Neptune will recur. That will happen around the 24th of March through the 28th, when Mercury does station direct at 16 degrees of Pisces conjunct Neptune. So that can be very confusing, and we might find distantly lost objects, things from the distant past being uncovered years ago, maybe thinking of things from long ago, but also, again, very intuitive, creative time. So I wish you the best, and it's good to see you again. Thank you.